Hi, I'm Kinley. At 58, I built heritage artisan bakeries from nothing but flour and my grandmother's recipes. 27 locations across 3 states later, I was thinking about semi-retirement. My daughter Amber had been working alongside me for years. Mom, these quarterly projections look fantastic, Amber said, sliding a folder across my desk. The new gluten-free line is outperforming estimates. I touched the antique silver locket at my throat, my grandmother's, containing a tiny photo of her first bakery from 1932. Your marketing campaign really connected. I was skeptical about the rebrand, but you were right. That's why we make such a good team, Amber replied. You've got tradition, I've got the modern approach. Marcus, my CFO of 15 years, knocked before entering, his worried expression deeper than usual. Kinley, do you have a minute? There's something in the financials we should discuss. Amber stood. I can step out. Actually, Marcus interrupted firmly. I think you should stay, Amber. What's going on, Marcus? I've been reviewing unusual transactions, large sums moving through accounts I don't recognize, authorized under your digital signature, Kinley. That's impossible, I said, reaching for my locket. I haven't authorized anything unusual. Someone did, Marcus replied, placing documents on my desk. Nearly $850,000 over 8 months. I scanned the paperwork. I didn't authorize these. I looked up to see Amber's face had gone perfectly still. Amber? She looked away. It's nothing, Mom. Probably just a clerical error. These aren't errors, Marcus said quietly. These are deliberate transfers to Apex Ventures. He turned to Amber, which lists you as the sole proprietor. Amber? What is this? My voice barely above a whisper. You weren't supposed to find out yet, she said, her voice suddenly cold. Not until everything was in place. In place for what? For my business. My real business. Not this outdated bakery chain stuck in the past. I've been developing a food tech startup. We're creating AI-driven, personalized nutrition. That's the future, Mom. Not your grandmother's cinnamon rolls. Marcus stepped between us. Amber, this is embezzlement. It's an advance on my inheritance, she snapped. Everything was going to be mine eventually anyway. Amber, how could you think... Think what? That I'm tired of waiting while you cling to control? That I'm sick of playing second fiddle to a dead woman's recipes? She gestured at my locket. You care more about her legacy than my future. My assistant Diane burst in. Kinley, I just got off the phone with James Holloway. He says Amber approached him about selling our flagship location. You what? I whispered. You're holding me back, Amber shouted, lunging forward. Her hand closed around my grandmother's locket, yanking hard. The chain snapped, cutting into my neck. It's time to let go, Mom! Hand over the business or I'll destroy it piece by piece! She stormed out, my locket clutched in her fist, leaving me frozen in shock, one hand at my bleeding neck. I've compiled everything, Marcus said 3 days later, placing a folder before me. Bank records, transaction logs, digital signatures, it's all here. I touched the bandage on my neck. Has she been back? No, but she's called 4 suppliers claiming to be the new CEO, Diane said, setting down tea beside me. And James Holloway? I asked. Still interested in the property, Marcus admitted. Amber told him you were experiencing cognitive decline. She what? That's not all, Diane hesitated. We should talk to Ben. Ben Rhodes had been my head baker for 20 years, had watched Amber grow up, taught her to make perfect croissants. Why Ben? He's been meeting with Amber for months, Marcus said, and he has access to all the original recipe archives. Natalie, my youngest manager and Amber's former roommate, knocked and entered. I'm sorry, Mrs. Peterson, she said, red-eyed. I should have come sooner. What's going on? Amber's been planning this for over a year. She told me she was going to modernize once she took over. I didn't realize she was stealing. What exactly did she tell you? Marcus asked. That she was building a food technology company that would absorb heritage. She said you were resistant to innovation. She wanted me to copy customer data emails, purchase histories. dietary preferences. And did you? I asked. No. That's why we stopped speaking last month. She was furious. Heard from her since this morning. She's accelerating her timeline and meeting investors next Thursday at the Madison Hotel. She's pitching to venture capitalists, showing how she'll transfer Heritage's customers to her platform. That's fraud, Marcus said. She also has your grandmother's recipes. All of them, including the ones never shared publicly. Ben, I whispered. She got to Ben. I found him in the test kitchen, hands deep in dough. Kinley, I can explain, he started, wiping his hands. Can you explain why you gave my family's legacy to my daughter so she could destroy everything? She said you were selling to a corporation that would fire everyone. She said she was saving what her great-grandmother started. And you believed her without coming to me? She had documents, plans for the sale, layoffs, everything. Forgeries, Marcus said. She created them to manipulate you. Ben collapsed onto a stool. Oh God, she has everything. The laminated dough technique, the spice blend, even the sourdough starter method. Did she say what she planned to do with them? I asked. Digitize them, turn them into algorithms for mass production. She said traditional baking was inefficient. I nodded slowly. Ben, call her. Tell her you have more, my personal notebooks. Tell her they contain refinements I never shared with anyone. Those would be priceless to her, Ben said, confused. Exactly, I replied. And you're going to help me make sure she takes the bait. I knew you'd come around, Amber said, sliding into the booth across from Ben. I watched from nearby, recording device ready. I'm trying to land on the right side, Ben replied nervously. The winning side, Amber corrected, smiling. Did you bring them? Ben slid a leather-bound notebook across the table. Your mother's personal recipe journals, the real innovations she never shared. Amber's eyes lit up. Perfect. With this, we can complete the algorithmic conversions. My tech team says we'll have the automation ready next quarter. You're really competing directly against your mother? Competing? We're replacing Heritage. It's a dinosaur handcrafted this, traditional that. The market wants efficiency and scale. No one cares if their croissant was lovingly made by human hands. Your great-grandmother cared, Ben said. Your mother cares. And that's why they're failures, Amber snapped. Great-grandmother had one shop. Mother managed a few dozen. I'm building something global. Thousands of locations, no master bakers needed. And the employees? The people who've worked for your family for decades? Progress has casualties. They can find jobs elsewhere. Like Marcus or Diane, they're like family. Family? They're employees. Replaceable parts. Just like Mother's precious recipes are formulas that computers can optimize. And the locket you tore from your mother's neck? Ben pressed. Amber pulled it out, dangling it from her fingers. A relic, like her ideas. I'll probably sell it. It's silver, right? Worth something? Your mother built that company from nothing, Ben said angrily. She gave you everything. She gave me a position I didn't need in a company I didn't want. Always Kinley's daughter, never just Amber. Always expected to worship family tradition. So this is revenge? This is business, Amber replied coldly. Mother taught me to seize opportunities. By stealing? By lying to investors about owning recipes and customer data? Who told you about the investors? Natalie mentioned your meeting tomorrow. I should have known she couldn't be trusted. No matter, by tomorrow I'll have my funding. Contracts are ready. What about your mother's signature to transfer assets? Amber smirked, showing Ben her phone. I've been practicing for months. Digital or ink, I've got it down. As far as anyone knows, she willingly signed everything over. I nodded to Marcus, who made a quiet call. You think you'll get away with this? Ben asked. Fraud, forgery, embezzlement, these are serious crimes. Who's going to stop me? My mother? She laughed. She's too sentimental to press charges against her daughter. Are you sure? I said, approaching their table. Amber went white. Mom? What are you... Listening to my daughter confess to multiple felonies, I said, placing my recorder on the table. You recorded me? That's illegal. One-party consent state, Marcus said, joining us. Perfectly legal. This is absurd. Amber gathered her things. I'm leaving. I wouldn't, said a woman showing a badge. Detective Rivera, Financial Crimes Division. We have questions about Apex Ventures and $850,000 in misappropriated funds. You called the police? Amber stared at me. Your own daughter? I called the authorities on a criminal who happens to be my daughter, I said quietly. You can't do this, Amber shouted, lunging across the table. I'll destroy everything you've built. Detective Rivera caught her arm. That sounds like a threat. Let's add that to the list. You have the right to remain silent. As the detective read Amber her rights, I watched my daughter's face contort with rage. Mom, she said, voice suddenly small. Please. You know I didn't mean it. We can work this out as a family. I looked into her eyes and saw nothing of the daughter I thought I knew. No, Amber, I said firmly. We can't. The DA is confident, Marcus said 2 weeks later. With the financial records, recorded confession, and forged signatures, they're pursuing multiple charges. What's this? I asked, examining a document he'd placed on my desk. Restraining order, Diane explained. Given her threats and assault, the court granted it immediately. She can't come within 500 feet of you or any heritage property. I signed where indicated, my neck healed but still feeling the phantom weight of my locket. Have they recovered it? I asked. Not yet. She claims she lost it during arrest, but officers didn't find it. Natalie knocked gently. Mrs. Peterson, the investors Amber was meeting, I contacted them. They'd like to speak with you instead. I smiled. Thank you. Set it up. There's more, she continued. I've analyzed our customer data. I think there's an opportunity, but not how Amber saw it. What do you mean? A loyalty app that enhances the traditional bakery experience rather than replacing it. Something celebrating handcrafted quality while making it accessible to digital native audiences. Would you be interested in developing it? I asked. Her eyes widened. Me? But I'm just a manager. You have integrity, intelligence, and loyalty, I interrupted. The rest we can figure out together. Later, Ben appeared, looking determined. I've come to resign, he said. After what I did... Sit down, Ben, I said firmly. You were manipulated by someone skilled at it. When it mattered, you helped make things right. But the recipes can be protected now that we know they were targeted. I don't want your resignation. I want your partnership in making sure this never happens again. His eyes filled with tears. After everything, 20 years of loyalty doesn't disappear over one mistake. Heritage is about family. The family we choose, you're part of that. The next day, Detective Rivera called with news about additional financial improprieties and evidence that Amber planned to sell our recipes to multiple competitors simultaneously. When can I see her? I asked. She's requested a meeting, Detective Rivera admitted. I'll see her. One time. In the detention center, Amber sat across from me in orange, looking harder, older. Mom, I'm so sorry. I wasn't thinking clearly. Stop. I didn't come for apologies. Then why? To ask why. The real reason. She looked away. Would you believe me if I said I don't know anymore? Possibly the first honest thing you've said in months. I can make this right, she insisted. Once I'm out, you're facing 10 to 15 years. Her face paled. That's ridiculous! It was just business. It was fraud, theft, assault, and conspiracy. Actions have consequences. So you're letting them lock up your only daughter after everything? I didn't put you here. You did. I stood. One last thing. My grandmother's locket. Where is it? Something calculating flickered in her eyes. I could help you find it, if you drop the charges. Keep it then. A reminder of what you threw away. Mom, wait! She called as I turned to leave. Please! I'm your daughter, your family. Family is more than blood. It's trust, respect, and love. 3 things you chose to discard. 6 months later, I celebrated with Diane, Marcus, Ben, and Natalie a new customer app, our 28th location, record quarterly numbers, and a successful apprenticeship program with 23 applications for 5 positions. Diane handed me a package containing my grandmother's restored locket with a note from Detective Rivera, found at a pawn shop 3 states away. As I fastened it around my neck, I felt its familiar weight of tradition, legacy, choices. To heritage, Natalie proposed. Past, present, and future. And to family, I added, looking at the faces around me. Not the family I was born with, but the one I had chosen. The ones who stand by us when it matters most. What would you do if someone you trusted completely betrayed everything you built? Would you have the strength to hold them accountable, even if it broke your heart?